as well as tax increases.
I can tell you that it's based on Simpson-Bowles, the President's Deficit Commission, which I served on. It brings everything to the table. And for those who worry, well, does this mean the end of this program or the other? Don't presume that. I voted in support of Simpson-Bowles, believing that major programs like Medicare and Social Security would actually be stronger as a result of the efforts that we're undertaking.
Can this be done before the election? If it's that important, why wait till after the election? Why not come out with some sort of proposal before the election so that voters will know what they're getting?
Andrea, we passed a bipartisan transportation bill in the Senate, and the House won't even call it for a vote. We've got to be very honest about this. Absent some intervening situation, such as the European situation, I think it is realistic to believe that we'll take this up after the election. Of course, the election results may change this conversation, but we should be ready, at least poised with a centerpiece to begin this conversation.
Well, Greece is going to vote next week, and you talk about absent intervening events. There could well be intervening events. This crisis is brewing in Europe. We may not have the time to wait till after the election.
I may be a little more confident as to the outcome in Europe than others, but I'm realistic about it too. And if there is some global economic crisis that threatens another recession in the United States, it may force the hand of both political parties to stop posturing, stop politicking, sit down and get to work. We hope this bipartisan group of senators will be the starting point.
The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, has estimated this week that if nothing is done and if the Bush tax cuts are extended and the automatic spending cuts are not allowed to kick in, that the federal debt will be 200% of the GDP by 2037. That's a fiscal cliff, not just the fiscal cliff we're talking about in the fall, but that's a real fiscal cliff. That's a disaster.
It's an absolute disaster. And think about this for a moment. At this moment in time, if we can move forward in Congress with a bipartisan approach to deal with the deficit, it will not only solidify the dollar in terms of its credibility as a global currency, I think it'll launch economic expansion that's long overdue. I know the President supports this. I hope we can have bipartisan support going into it, at least to prepare ourselves to get this done.